Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and today I am going to be teaching you how to paint this easy winter watercolor snow globe. Let's get started. To start this painting, we are first going to draw out our snow globe. So I have grabbed a mason jar lid, but you can use whatever circular object you have to make this painting as big or as small as you'd like. So I just took this lid, I'm going to place it a little bit above the center of my page, and I want it to be in the middle, and then I'm just going to lightly trace around it. And then I have a nice, perfect circle. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to draw a little base. So I'm just going to kind of have an angled line coming down off the left side and then off the right side. So I'm trying to make these to where they are parallel to each other. And then I'm just going to have a little curved line connecting the two. And then I'm going to erase the lines that we don't need. Just like that. And then I'm going to lightly erase my pencil lines, and then we can start painting. And then one more thing we are going to draw in is a little horizon line. So I'm just going to do a very loose line, kind of a little lumpy, a third of the way up from the bottom of the circle. And that is going to be our base for where our sky is going to stop. Now we can begin painting in our snow globe. So I have already mixed up my night sky paint color using some Viridian green and Payne's gray. So what you're going to do before we put our color in is we're going to take some clean water on our round brush, and we are going to fill in our entire sky area without leaving the border of the snow globe. So just take your time and fill up that entire top of the circle. All right, and then once you have that completely filled, go into your dark green paint and just start tapping it in. We want the top part of the sky area to be darker than below. And so we're just going to make it all dark up here, and then we're going to blend downward so that there's going to be a nice kind of glow behind our trees. And having this area pre-wet is going to allow us to really have the chance to work and move this paint around. All right, I need a little bit more pigment in my palette. I thought I mixed up enough, but I didn't. All right, I'm going to take that deep paint I just mixed and add that to the top. I'm going to come down on the sides with that dark paint. And I'm going to clean my brush off just a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely clean. And then I'm going to, with a very lightly damp brush, I'm going to blend that color down. just smooth out some areas. I'm going to get a little bit more Payne's gray into my paint mixture here. And I'm going to really bring that in toward the top. So again, I'm just adding a little bit more Payne's gray to darken up the top of the snow globe to the sides. And then cleaning off my brush a little bit so it's just damp with that color slightly on it. And then I'm just going to blend that out and down just to kind of give this a little bit more of a gradient look, helping it feel more like a night sky rather than just kind of a green blob. All right, and we're going to leave this like it is. We're going to let it dry, and then we're going to come back and add our trees. So I'm just coming back in with a second coat of water, and I just want to add a second layer on top of this to kind of smooth up some edges that I thought dried a little bit rough. So we're taking that same paint mixture we just used, and I'm literally just going to go around the base, not the base, the top. And then just blend it downward. So again, we're still getting the same effect. It's darker on the outside, and then it should blend down into more of a glow in the center. All right, and now we're going to let this dry again, and then we're going to come back in with our trees. So now we are going to paint in our 3 trees. I've already mixed up a dark wash of Payne's gray with that same Viridian green we used for the sky, and we are just going to place 3 trees in the center of our painting. So I'm going to start toward the left, a little off center on the left, and I'm going to draw in my base, and then I'm just going to tap in with the tip of my brush the shape of the tree. So just tiny little dots and lines that make up the pine tree shape. And you don't need to fill in all the space. Leaving some clean space really helps to give the appearance of the branches and to also just create some diversity and help them really stand apart. Right, just like that. And then I'm going to do another one off to this side, really tall. And again, just tapping in that tree shape, trying to be different and not too systematic with this shape. And just tapping in some darker pigment. Just like that. And then we are going to do one more in the center. It's going to come down to a little bit in front. I'm going to add a little bit more darker pigment to this to help it stand out in the foreground. All right, and then I'm just going to add another tree over here just because I feel like it looks a little off balance from the center. Just going to have this one come in front as well. All right, and there we have our trees. All right, now we're going to add our base to our snow globe. So I'm not going to go too crazy and really mix it up with color in this one. I'm going to use the exact same color that we used for the trees for our snow globe base. So I'm just going to start filling that in. A little bit more Payne's gray. And just very carefully I'm going to fill this in. If you're afraid of your paint drying on this quickly, you can always do the wet on wet by just wetting down the entire base first. I just went straight in with paint, so it's up to you. Either way, you'll get the same look. All right, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to clean my brush off and I'm going to completely dry it. And I'm just going to take some paint off this side. Just to give a natural highlight to that area. So this side will appear darker and this one will be slightly lighter, which will just give it that natural shadowing that it needs to give it a curved look. All right, so now we are going to add some shadowing to our trees and underneath our snow globe. So for this, I'm going to go back into that Viridian green and just add that back to my palette. And then I'm going to take some clean water and I'm going to fill up the area around the base of the snow globe. And I'm going to go farther than I want the paint to go, so that I don't get any harsh lines. So I'm just going right up to that base, but I'm not touching it with the water. Just kind of let it go behind, because again, this is going to be shadowing. And take just a little bit of Payne's grain, add it to that green. And then we're just going to tap this in a circular motion around the snow globe, and then I'm just going to blend it out. So I don't want this to be like, I really don't want it to look perfect. I want it to I want this area to feel very loose. And I'm going to take a little bit more Payne's Gray and green, add that to my mixture, and then just go right in by the base. Just kind of tap that in to get a darker, because I want the base to be darker, around the base to be darker. Then as it goes out, and I'm just going to blend that out again. Just like that. Clean up this area down here. And just take my paper towel, just tap that off. So there we have our base, and then we're going to come back up to under the trees, and we're going to do the same idea. Make sure your brush is nice and clean. And then we're just going to use that same clean water and go right underneath our trees. We're going to go into that Payne's Gray, and we're just going to let that bleed out into the snow and around the trees. And then I'm also just going to come right around the outer part of the snow. Just to kind of help form that circle a little bit more. For this next step, we are going to add white watercolor paint to our sky by splattering it over the snow globe to give us our snowy effect. So I'm just going to take a lot of white watercolor paint on my brush. And I'm using this out of a pan, but I might have to switch to getting it out of a tube just so it's thick enough. But we'll see. I am going to cover the bottom section of my painting because the snow would obviously be in the snow globe, it wouldn't be on the base. And then I'm just going to tap my brush over my painting and fill up my snow globe with snow. And then for this painting, I'm actually going to dab off the splatter of the white because I want to add a different color splatter outside my snow globe. So we are going to let the white paint inside the snow globe dry, and then we're going to come back and add a very light layer of splatter to the outside of the snow globe, and then we will be done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cover up the snow globe area, as well as, actually we're just going to cover up the snow globe area, and then I'm going to use that green paint and I'm going to tap it around my snow globe. But I'm not going to go too crazy. I just want it to be lightly splattered around my snow globe. And then I noticed one little spot got some splatter, so I'm just going to take my paper towel and dab that off. And there you have an easy winter watercolor snow globe. Hey everyone, thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like any extra detail on this painting, head over to my blog, Reflecting Creation. I'll have a link in the description box below. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.